what to think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Hello and welcome to the Throttle Up Racing Network. Tonight, we're with the Southern Excitement Racing League, and we're out at Phoenix Raceway. Phoenix Raceway, that's a mile track, D-shaped oval, out in Avondale, Arizona. As we get going tonight for these Southern Excitement Racing League drivers, let's take a quick look at the points. Point leader AJ Rogers currently quickest on the board. And second, Christopher Carter. Blake Giglio third. Casey Herring fourth. Dylan Falovich fifth. Mark True sixth. Bill Stringfellow out there in seventh. John McMillan eighth. Jonathan Cogswell 9th, and Joey Doucette currently in the top 10 in points. So those are some names to be looking out for. With me tonight in the broadcast booth is Kyle Quintrell. How are you tonight, Kyle?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Dakota?
Oh, we're doing good.
I'm excited to see how this 1 mile short track is going to play out tonight. Usually we have some fender grazing going on these shorter tracks, but see if these guys can keep it clean.
Yeah, that's certainly something to look forward to. These iRacing setups of late have been a little bit loose, so we'll have to see how well these drivers are able to wrestle and wrangle these cars with these loose setups. Hopefully we can get some green flag runs. Last week, ended the race on like 114 laps of green flag running at Las Vegas. And Travis Skromita come out, the winner of last week's race. There you go in that 0X car.
Yeah, it's always nice when you can get that long green flag run and it comes down to fuel strategy and tire saving, and makes it really fun for the fans watching and for the drivers in the racing it.
Yeah, it truly does. Last week it came down, we wasn't sure if they was going to be able to make it or not, but they were able to. But Chris Carter, he come out of the pits about 20 laps after everyone else, drove from 14 seconds back all the way up to take the lead. But even with 20 lap older tires, Travis was saving those tires from the get-go, and with about 10 laps to go, he pulled back around Chris Carter, even with 20 lap older tires. So very impressive from Travis Skromita last week.
Yeah, it sounds like it was one heck of a finish. Here at Phoenix, it's all about not being too aggressive into corner entry, because you can make up so much time on corner exit here. So just taking it easy into the corners and saving those tires and getting a good exit and having a good handling car is the key here.
Absolutely. And corner exit, you've got to not smack the gas all the way to the floor, because it's all about throttle control coming out of these corners. You will come right around, and it seems to be that way at a lot of these tracks lately. Coming out of corner, if you just gas it up a little bit too much, seems like a car just wants to go right around.
Yeah, that's the fast setup, but it's hard to drive. And whenever you're creating your own setup, you want to have throttle control, but you get a little too over aggressive or a little too excited, and it can ruin your night.
Yeah, and the night of other people behind you. As we're watching here, AJ Rogers, he's fastest on the board and our point leader. Our stage tonight will be at lap 70, so we'll have to see who's up there to get those bonus points. Bill Stringfellow, he's currently 4th quickest. You see AJ Rogers spinning it around. But Bill Stringfellow, he's 4th quickest, but he has won the last 2 stages in a row. So the last 2 weeks he's won the stage. Last week was setting sail, had a power issue, and ended up having to disconnect. So he may be one of the favorites as we're getting ready to go qualifying. We'll see who the first one out is. Kevin Poskowicz in the 56. He's at the end of pit road. He's now rolling out. We'll see how well he gets around this slick track.
Yeah, you mentioned how slick this track really is, and once these tires wear out, I mean, you're literally sliding all the way through these corners, and you're in for a ride, and you just gotta kind of hold on to it and get the gas going up off the corner. But here in qualifying, these tires will stick pretty good, and you'll be able to be aggressive with it, and so the guy who can be the most aggressive going through these corners will get this pole here in qualifying. Looks like we have our first laps coming in, and Andrew Himmelman at a 27.189 is your current pole sitter.
And Andrew Himmelman, he's out there in the Sim Shots Chevrolet, one of our sponsors, Sim Shots. He's actually the one who's over Sim Shots, and they do a great job. If you saw that picture scrolling through at the beginning of the broadcast of the 28 car flipping, that was last week. That was a shot that Mr. Himmelman got last week from Sim Shots. He's out there on the pole. He was fast in practice as well.
It's like the 7 car is looping it around here on his first lap, so he's going to reset and try it again.
You see that UFA logo on the back of Andrew Rattel. We had a big announcement in our Discord this week. We'll be announcing a big race on Easter coming up, so pay attention to that, and it's going to be sponsored by UFA. There's going to be a lot of cool things to go along with that, so thanks to UFA for sponsoring a race, a special race on Easter. We're going to be at the Bristol Dirt Track, so pay attention on Facebook for more details concerning Bristol Dirt Track. And as these cars are qualifying, we've got a sponsor for tonight's race, and that's Darren's Nail Gun Repair. And this race titled the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 165. They'll be offering a little payout for our winner tonight. So if you have a nail gun that's in disarray, you need to call Darren. They're out in West Tennessee.
Like your fastest from practice was AJ Rogers, and he's currently sitting in the 4th position with a 27.3. Looks like he's going to get a decent starting spot, but not able to back up that practice time.
Yeah, it's harder when you've got several laps to try and get something going versus just the one.
Yeah, qualifying is definitely one of the hardest things about iRacing, and you make one little mistake and you get caught back up in the field and you're trying to catch up the entire race, but it sure feels nice when you lay down that great lap and see your name up atop that board.
Absolutely. We got Nate Maurer out there in the Simbox Chevrolet, another one of our sponsors. As he gets going, he's moved up quite a bit in points the last couple of weeks. Had a good finish last week. See him, he's running up against the wall, trying to get a good run off the corner. He's currently 13th quickest.
Looks like the number 83 of Bill Stringfellow just jumped up to 3rd fastest. He had a really nice line through 3 and 4 on that lap.
Yeah, Bill, one of our top runners every week.
Here he comes for lap number 2. Let's see if it's any faster. Looks like it was not, so he'll stay in the 3rd position. Halfway through our qualifying session here.
Travis White, he's now out running in the number 23. He's 21st quickest. Looks like he's already set his time. Now John McMillan looks like he may be doing a reset. Didn't quite get the line he wanted. Justin White out there in the number 88. This is one of my favorite looking cars in the league. I like those orange wheels and the orange number. They go well together. Himmelman right now looking like the favorite to get the pole award, the 0X Designs pole award.
We have 9 drivers yet to record a time, and it looks like the 88 is coming to record his first lap here, so we'll see where he slots in. Looks like he's going to go 20th fastest for right now.
And And now out on the track, Jamie Dunning. Jamie helps broadcast some with us on Wednesdays. Also an admin in this league. We'll have to see how well Jamie can run.
He goes to 15th fastest in his first lap. Let's see if he can pick it up on lap number 2.
He's out there at LandonMills.com Chevrolet.
Ooh, gets a little bit loose off of 4 there. It's probably going to hurt his lap time. And he did pick it up to 14th fastest, so a little faster on lap number 2.
A little bit quicker, 14th. We still got several left to qualify. We'll see if anybody else will go out. We're going to have to name that 0X Designs Pole Award winner in just a second. Looks like Andrew Hillman, the favorite right now. He's out there. We'll have to see if anybody else decides to run. We're going to give him about 20 more seconds. You see the 2 of Casey Herring. He's was our points leader, but had a bad week last week. He moves back to 4th spot in the points. All right, let's see if we can get a word. Hey, Andrew, this is Dakota in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Hey, man, you come out here. This is your first race in the Southern Excitement Racing League, and you put that thing on the pole. What's it going to take to get it done here at Phoenix?
Oh, I don't know. I think we could have some good long-run pace, but hopefully we can bring it home. I've never really liked this track, so maybe we'll get some luck and win this thing.
Well, you've got the short run speed. You think you've got long run speed, and you don't even like this track. So I think going forward, these guys are going to be in trouble racing against you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have the long run speed. I think we'll just figure it out during the race and go from there. But I think we do have short run. And I think if race comes down to about 5 laps, I think we have a shot.
All right, and you're driving that Sim Shots Chevrolet. You're also over Sim Shots, and you do a great job with all those pictures that you provide for our league, and we appreciate you and being a part of this league.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, well, good luck tonight, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you. And that, our pole sitter, our 0X Designs Pole Award winner, Andrew Himmelman. As we've got about 20 seconds left to grid. Ronnie Osmer, he's out there running now.
I'm not sure if he's going to get back around to take this lap in time. He has 9 seconds to get back to the line before the session expires.
And Ronnie Osmer, he's won the pole award before.
And
didn't make it.
Did not make it. Just short. But so he will start from the back and see if he can march his way up through the field.
All right, we have 37 drivers starting tonight's race, so hopefully we can all keep it clean and run a fast race and a lot of green flag laps as we go through.
We are set for 165 laps here. We will have our top 10 receiving points after lap 70 with the stage, and they're currently gridding up right now on pit road.
All right, let's go through the grid. Your 0X Designs Pole Award winner, that's Andrew Himmelman. Rolling off second, Tyler Humphrey in the number 94. Bill Stringfellow starting third. Travis Scramita out there in 4th spot. AJ Rogers, our point leader, he's starting 5th. Kevin Poskowicz is going to roll off the grid in 6th spot. Matt Goodell hasn't quite gridded in yet, but he is 7th. Blake Giglio, he is starting in the 8th spot. Mark True is starting 9th. Jason Humphrey going to start from the 10th position. In 11th, that's Grant Goodell. 12th is Chris Carter. 13th, Matthew Prentice. Jamie Dunning is in 14th. Nate Maurer, 15th. Henry Basaw going to roll off in 16th spot. Lee Grandy is in 17th. Lee is from Singapore, so somebody from across the pond running tonight in that GoDaddy car. Then Dylan Falovich is going to start in 18th spot. 19th, Justin Lumpkin, driving a special paint scheme. We'll have to get a good look at that car later on. He is the owner of Zero X Design, so Justin Lumpkin out there in a good-looking ride. And rolling off 20th is Andrew Rattel. Now as we go through the grid, 21st, Justin White. 22nd, Kevin Franks. 23rd, Travis White. Kyle Adcock, 24th. 25th, Kim Johnner, Tristan Basaw. And you see the rest of the cars that are out there running. Patrick Colby with a good race last week. Casey Herring, 28th. As we get ready, we're going green. And Hillman leads us off. Stringfellow just behind.
We got the 93 spinning down the backstretch, just one car down low, so not sure if they're going to throw the caution there, but
yep.
He got
caution
loosed.
Is out. Let's take a look, see what happened to the 93 of Grant Goodell. As they go down into the dog leg, gets a little unsettled on that bounce. And he starts to come back up the track, gets loose and hits the inside wall. Nosed it into the wall pretty hard. Let's take a look. Well, not too bad. Some damage on the left front for the 93 of Grant Goodell. Let's see how that affects him going forward.
Yeah, pretty lucky to get away with only a little bit of damage there on the left front. Looked like you hit the wall pretty hard, but car doesn't look too bad. Overall, a pretty clean start there. Just one car got loose down the backstretch.
So we'll have to see if these guys can hold these cars through the corner and get some green flag racing. So far, a half a lap. That's not a good sign. Luckily, no other cars involved, just the one. And our points leader, he's already moved up to the 3rd spot. Fast in practice, got race speed. And of course, Bill Stringfellow won the stage last week. He's up there in 2nd. Travis Scramita in 4th. Last week's winner. And Andrew Himmelman in that Simshot Chevrolet first week in the league, and he's leading so far all 4 laps.
That's the way it always seems to work. Somebody new comes into the league and they have a really good first race, and then, but usually it's whether you can follow it up week after week after that. the key to getting that long green flag run going is just a lot of give and take on the driver's part, because it's first lap, they're all stacked up, so they just got to play nice, and looks like we're going back green here this time by.
And it's going to be on the leader. That's Andrew Hillman. He takes off with a big jump over the 83 of Stringfellow. 83 looking to get down the 17. He gets down the 83 and the 17 both around. Right in front of the field, the 56 involved. Caution's out. 23 goes sideways. And I think Bill thought he was clear, but the 17 sent it in there. Let's take a look one more time. The 83 and the 17 go around.
Well, considering that they wrecked from essentially the first couple of rows there, not a whole lot of drivers caught up in that, actually. It looked like I'm counting about 4 or 5 that got damage out of it.
Yeah, the 83 and the 56 may have got the brunt of it, as the 83 was sitting sideways.
That 56 squared them up straight in the door, but pulling away from it, they don't seem to have a ton of damage, but sure, that 56 is probably the worst off for wear.
You see Travis Scramita, he goes around the outside, no damage for last week's winner. Yeah, the 94, he looks like he's got some damage from behind. Someone's hit him in the back. Most of the other cars seem to have gotten away without much damage. The 23, he come in there sliding sideways, but I'm not real sure he hit anything.
Stayed off the 56 there, and it looked like he stopped up in time before he hit the 83 there. So good job on his part, locked it up and able to stay out of it. And really good job on most of the field's part to avoid that one. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, they did a good job avoiding damage. Now we'll have to see if these cars can, if they go double file once again, and see how long of a green flag run we can get. So far, the first one was half a lap, and the second one was not quite a quarter of a lap. So, like you said earlier, I mean, it's give and take, and we're not seeing a whole lot of that right now. There's quite a bit of damage on the back of that 94 of Tyler Humphrey.
Yeah, I didn't exactly see what happened to him. It looked like he got run into from behind there, but didn't really see a lot of damage on the nose of somebody else, so have to figure out what happened with him.
We'll take a look from AJ Rogers. Now you see the 20, he takes off because he's the leader. He's that control car. Gets the jump. And Hillman out to a big lead already, 0.3 of a second. Rogers trying to track him down. 20 slides up through 3 and 4. And there's another caution out on the track.
Looks like that one was for the 56 way back in the back of the field, and just ran out of room coming up off the corner and had to check up, and looks like he got run into from behind.
Let's take a look at what happened to the 56. And Casey Herring just behind him. Oh, yeah, the car in front of him. There was just nowhere for Poskowicz to go. Let's take a look one more time. Looks like he thought he was going to hit him and maybe turned the wheel and checked up. Because I don't see him. He doesn't actually hit the car in front of him.
Yeah, and he was already sideways before the car got to him from behind. So looks like kind of on his own, or maybe a little bit of netcode there.
Yeah, netcode may have been the problem in that wreck. So Himmelman's still out front. Rogers, he's in second. Scramita third. Blake Giglio, he's moving up. He'll be one to watch out for. He's in the fourth spot. And Tyler Humphrey, with that damage on the rear, he's still holding on to fifth.
With these cars, you can drive with that damage on the rear, especially at a place like Phoenix where aero isn't extremely important. So be interesting. He may slowly get repairs done throughout the race as he does pit stops, but I don't think that's going to affect him too much.
Yeah, it shouldn't affect him too much here at Phoenix, especially with it not being nose damage and it being on the rear. Of course, the spoiler is bent up a little bit. So we'll have to see as we go forward. But Tyler Humphrey, he's been fast this season. And showing that speed once again here in the early stages of Phoenix.
In real life, having your spoiler up in the air like that might even be an advantage, but I don't know about an iRacing.
These cars getting double file once again for another restart. And Bill, he's just now coming out of the pits after getting some damage repaired. We'll get going once again in the Darren's Nail Gun Repair 165. There's leader Andrew Hillman. He'll lead him off one more time. As we look forward to some green flag racing. He takes off. Another great jump for Andrew. He's got those restarts down pat. AJ Rogers right on his heels. Looks like the top 10 or so get out single file. Rogers now looking low on the 20 of Himmelman for the lead. Can't quite get it done. Falls back into line.
The top 8 or 9 is spread out here, and we had a big old pack back there, and all the way at the back of it, we have a driver go around here. Looks like it's the 8 car of Nicholas Biscotti.
Nicholas Biscotti in the number 8. Let's take a look and see what happened to Nicholas. Into the corner, may have sent it a little bit too hard. He gets sideways, does his best to save it. He goes around by himself in the back of the field. Doesn't look like anybody hits him. One car barely hit him. Uh-oh. Looks like the 2 maybe tagged him a little bit.
He almost looked like the 2 was able to kind of drive through him there. When I watched it live, I'm not sure how much damage they got out of that. Oh,
Looks like he got a little bit of front end damage. Looks like he was behind the 19. I'm not sure he could totally see, or he just locked the brakes up or something, but he hits the 8 right in the right front.
yeah, that car definitely jumped up a little bit, so there's going to be some damage on both of those cars. Yeah, but I think you're right. I think he kind of hit the brakes a little harder than he wanted to because the 19 was coming down in front of him and maybe locked up the wheel or just didn't quite know where that car was spinning out at.
And there's Casey Herring's car. The nose gone on the front end of that car. So quite a bit of damage early on for Casey Herring. Had a bad week last week and stuck there in the back this week. Once again involved in some spinning cars. So I have to see if he can keep up to speed and take a faster pair later and maybe come up here and get a good finish.
Kind of felt like that run, that top 10 got kind of spread out there and looked like we were maybe going to get some green flag racing in, and but they didn't want to settle down at the back of the field there. There was a big old log jam from about 11th to 22nd, and they were all, kind of right in the same spot of the corner, and then just behind them is where the 8 car kind of lost it. So if he didn't lose it, there's probably going to be an incident in that big group there because they were being really aggressive.
And some names we normally see up front that was probably in that big group. Chris Carter, he's running 11th. He's already won a race this season and drove up, took the lead last week, but got passed late in the race to finish second last week. Nate Maurer in 12th. Another typical front runner. Ronnie Osmer usually qualifies up on the pole or the outside pole, and we see him a lot early in these races, but didn't get to qualify. But he has gained 21 positions since we started, up to 13th. So Ronnie Osmer driving hard through the field. We'll have to keep an eye on the 55 later on through the race.
He is certainly our biggest mover in this one, and he is probably part of that aggressiveness there, as he's been marching his way forward this whole race, it seems.
And here's the Justin Lumpkin Ford Mustang. He said he's been working with the Valhalla project, and this is a car in the memory of Navy Corpsman HM1 Ernest Henderson. Once again, Andrew Hillman on the start with a good restart. 20 laps in. Still got 50 laps until we get the stage. This time, Scramita gets down to the inside of A.J. Rogers. Now a battle for second.
We have 4 wide going into turn 3 right now, back in the pack, and they're going to get together, and pretty big wreck there. Looks like 5, 6, maybe 7 cars involved in it.
Including the 88, the 97 involved.
I saw 4 wide going through the dogleg, and I knew it wasn't going to work out. They ran out of space going into turn 3 there.
Let's take a look from the blimp cam. See what we can see. The 55 down low, the 25, the 73. And as they go into the corner, the 25 and the 73 come together. The 73 sent up the track into the 97. The 97 hard into the outside wall. He bounces down in front of the 7. The 5 of Andrew Rattel, he's involved late as the 88 was braking and sliding through. Doesn't look like maybe a whole lot of damage to the 88, but the 5 appears the nose gone on that car. Another couple cars trying to slide into the picture. Doesn't look like a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, so far everyone's kind of got away with these wrecks, and not a whole lot of damage from them. But right there, the two cars in the middle of the four wide just didn't quite judge their line right and got together. And that 97, I believe it was, on the outside of the four wide there was just kind of an innocent bystander. He was giving those guys room below him, but nowhere for him to go.
Let's take a look one more time. From the 73, we'll take a look. Here we go. We'll see what, from this angle, what we can see is Carter, he went low on the 73, and the 55 drove all the way to the bottom. I think the 25 may have gotten, I mean, looking at it here as the 55 come up, I think the 25 maybe didn't realize or was kind of startled as the 55 come up the track.
Yeah, it's probably,
and then
his spotter probably said he got one low, and he reacted up, and at the same time the
73 was turning into the corner. Yeah. They kind of come together. A lot of damaged race cars early in this race.
And they just kind of kept on stacking up from behind, but no major damage from any of those incidents. But they all count and they all hurt your race a little bit. But that is a pretty sharp Harley paint scheme there that the 73 has.
Yeah, I like that chrome. Several cars trying to take some damage repair. Justin White, he's still sitting in the pits, getting some damage repaired. They get double file again. Andrew Hillman may be able to just get out here and keep going with some these restarts, keep having good restarts, and that may pay off for the stage win. And he's a new driver just added this week. We're in week 5, so he needs some stage points to try and get back up into that top 16 to make the playoffs.
Looks like we're side by side here and coming out of 4.
And once again, a great restart by Andrew Hillman. Goodell now to the inside of Blake Giglio. Looks like once again they're close to 3 wide, right behind, and another caution on the track.
One car spun right up in front of the field and then collected a bunch of other cars from the back there. It looks like it was the 81 of Kim Janer that originally spun. Yep.
Yeah, got tagged by the 26. Not sure if he saw the 26 below. See if we can get a better angle.
Look like 2 guys going for the same piece of real estate there down into turn 3, and it just wasn't quite clear. Pretty close to being clear, but the 26 drove it in there pretty hard and was still there.
Yeah, I think there was just 2 guys going for the same spot. 81 comes down into the side of the 26.
And there was about 7 or 8 cars that kind of piled up into them afterwards. And one car went sliding and went straight through another car right there as he was parked sideways on the track. for Andrew Himmelman out front, it's just been about getting these great restarts that he has every time, and just running a couple of clean laps, and probably not pushing his equipment all that much, and just been able to hold on to this lead as it is for AJ Rogers and Travis Kermita. But they've been kind of battling on these restarts each time for second and third, and they've kind of switched positions there. Then we got a pair of Humphreys in fourth and fifth right now, and Tyler and Jason.
Yeah, if we can get some good racing, these top 10 look very racy. Ronnie Osmer, he's finally made his way into the top 10, up 24 spots.
Yeah, I believe he's going to have something to say about this race when it's over. He looks, he's been aggressive on these restarts, but able to take it where a couple other guys haven't been able to, and get around some. And he's passing like 2-3 cars down into turn one and down that backstretch every time we get a restart here.
Yeah, Jason Humphrey, he's the one that was in the practice session on Friday night and was making a lot of good laps. And he's making a lot of strides in this league, especially at this track. He's gotten quite a bit faster in the last couple of days, so a lot of practice for Jason Humphrey, and he's done a great job currently running fifth. He's gained 5 spots to move into that top 5, so great job for Jason Humphrey.
Looks like we are double file once again and about to head into turn 3 for another restart. All the chaos has kind of been back between 10th and about 25th, and you know, once you get that kind of settled out, we might be able to get some green flag racing going here.
Yeah, hopefully these guys can get settled down and we can get some green flag runs. We're on the green flag now. Andrew Hillman on the restart. Skrmita, he gets in down below the 17.
Looks like a lot more give and take on this restart as the field has kind of spread out, at least through the top 10, 15 cars.
Looks like some single file racing. The 26 looked like he got a little sideways back in the back, but everybody doing a good job of trying to stay away from everybody. Let's get some green flag runs going. And right now, everybody out to a great single file line all the way from the start, all the way almost to the very back of the field. So a great restart for Andrew Hillman and for the rest of the pack as we get strung out. But there's a caution
looks like
in the back.
Looks like the 93 went around again, and he got tagged by one other driver.
Take a look at what happened to the 93. He gets close to the 22, goes around, and 2 other cars tag him, the 2 and the 97.
Yeah, it kind of looked like he was just pushing, and he was tight right there, trying to stay on the gas, and just kind of goes up into the 22 here, and just comes around on him. Oh, on second thought, that 22 did kind of come down on him there.
Yeah, I think the 22 in the outside lane got a little loose. You watch that the front tire as he's does a little counter steering somewhere in here. Yeah, he's coming down quite a bit, or he may have just gotten a good run. Yeah, I see that tail end whips back to the left and hits the 93, and he goes around. Casey Herring involved once again. Being back in the back of the pack, it's hard to get through, to miss spinning cars at this track, because in between these walls, I mean, it's They're all tight in there. Hard to get around.
Yeah. Looks like the two got a little piece of that as he was going around, but wasn't quite able to catch who really got him there at the end of that. But
that was the 97 of Nate Maurer. He may have disconnected.
yeah, it seemed like a pretty hard hit, and it looks like he has. So he was already a lap down before that happened, but looks like we also have one other car that he was our 6th place qualifier that's out of the race. He's 10 laps down in the number 56 of Kevin
Poskowicz.
I was trying to process the last name, but I wasn't able to do it.
Now there's a couple of hard to say ones in here.
I was watching the 55 of Ronnie Osmer on that restart, and he has another gear up off those corners, and that car is hooked up. And he's able to just pull up alongside guys down the straightaways. And he's definitely going to be a factor in this thing before it's all said and done. He's all the way up to 8th now.
Yeah, Jamie Dunning doing a great job keeping the car clean.
Usually in these kind of races where we have a bunch of cautions early, either the guys get tired of going under caution and they give each other a lot of room, is what kind of happened on that last restart, or we just thin out the field a little bit, and then we'll usually end up with that long green flag run right after a bunch of cautions, and you end up going like 80, 90 laps all of a sudden. So hopefully we can get that going here as they're getting side by side and doubled up for another restart.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some green flag runs. That's what everybody wants to see, and everybody that's in this race wants to have some green flag racing. Nobody wants to drive around under caution. We're getting ready to go green one more time. Hillman's still out front. Nobody's had enough time to get to him after these restarts. He gets another good one. Scramita, he's now into the bottom of AJ Rogers. The battle for second. Side by side into turn 3. The 89 and the 17. Also the 55. He keeps moving forward. He's down to the inside of Giglio.
We got the 23 around in the middle of 3 and 4 here. Single car spin. Nobody else hit him, it looks like. That's Travis White in that 23.
Looks like maybe it's some contact with the 27. The 23 come down. Not sure if he knew the 27 was there or not, but the 23 gets turned around. Comes down across the nose of the 27.
Like the 17 faked like he was coming to pit road there. I thought he was going to come down, but darted back out at the last second. Thought we were going to see our first pit road action. And Ronnie Osmer in that 55 is all the way up to the 5th position now after starting 34th. Either he just has a really good time on restarts and able to get a lot of guys, or he just has a great car today. If we do get a long green flag run, it'll be interesting to see if he has the long run car as well.
Tyler Humphrey, he's holding on with that damage. I thought maybe it would affect him a little bit, but he's moved back up into the 4th spot.
Yeah, he doesn't look any worse for wear, even though that rear bumper is a little askew, but seems like he still has all his speed. Honestly, most of the cars in the top 10, with the 94 not being one of them, but they all look pretty clean and don't really see a whole lot of damage on them. But you go back to 12th place and back, pretty much everyone has damage back there. So just going to be a matter of surviving these early parts of the race and then playing the strategy out once we get some green flag racing going.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some green flag runs. Chris Carter, we know he's one that's wanting green flag runs. He's always fast everywhere we go, as well as Matt Goodell. He loves those long green flag runs, does a very good job at saving his tires. These guys chopping at the bit to get a green flag run.
We are side by side once again and coming around to do another restart. 20 has just been dominant, getting out to the, stretching that lead really wide early, right off the bat, and no one's been able to touch him yet, but I'm sure somebody's going to have something to say to him before the end of this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking for lap 70. Once again, no caution for the stage. The points will be given out at the end of lap 70. Hopefully we go green all the way to lap 70. That's what we're looking for. Green flag for the number 20 of Andrew Hillman. He takes off, gets a good jump. Now the second place cars are side by side. As you see, Tyler Humphrey, he dives in. Now he's going to give Travis Scramita a run for his money for the 3rd spot.
We got 3 wide for 7th, 8th, and 9th, but they're going to get into the corner successfully. 48's going to come out on the good side of that, with the 13 hanging tough on his outside.
Yeah, Dunning doing a good job of holding it on the outside and not forcing these guys to dive into the bottom of him. Jason Humphrey making up some spots, as well as Chris Carter. You see him moving up. He's now up to 9th. He's going to look to the inside of Jamie Dunning going down the front stretch. 48 and the 16 side by side now for the 6th spot. Giglio on the outside, Jason Humphrey on the inside. You see him cutting that dog leg quite a bit. A whole lap side by side now for these two front runners in 6th and 7th. Carter now trying to make a move.
We had a couple wreck on the front stretch, but no caution is thrown. We had 2 go around, and they were both parked down at the bottom of the front stretch, but we stay green here.
Yeah, I see some cars sideways there on the front stretch in that wreck. A couple of cars hit the inside wall, but for some reason no caution, but that'll work out.
That's probably what it's going to take to keep this green here. We had one car down on the very inside, blowing up. Looks like he's going to get back to pit road, though.
That's the 91. Ryan Smith. He goes into the pit lane. Himmelman out now to a half-second lead.
At 55 of Ronnie Osmer all the way up to the 3rd position and just about a second behind Himmelman. So we'll see if either him or AJ Rogers has anything for that 20 car.
Rogers, he does good on entry, but Himmelman much better on the exit. Pulls away out to another 10th, now 6/10 up over Rogers. Osmer looks like he got just a little bit loose. Now a second out of the lead, but Rogers, he's cut that lead down to 4/10 now.
We got 5 cars under a blanket from 14th to 18th, but looks like they're going to get it straightened out and sorted out, and the 51's going to end up on the right side of that with the 83 following suit.
McDowell and Lee Grandy just behind. There's one sideways. That's Doug Neal.
He is
as he saves it.
Able to hold on to it there and back into the racing groove. Didn't even touch the inside wall, it didn't look like.
Looks like he may have been involved in an incident earlier. Got some damage on the right rear. Doug Neal in the Simbox Chevrolet does a good job of saving it right there. And Bill Stringfellow involved in an incident earlier, but he's driven his way back up through the field, now up to 15th as he looks to try and get back into the top 10.
Yeah, qualified in the 3rd position, so we know he has some speed there, and he's been moving his way forward. The gap to your top 3 has pretty much stayed the same, with AJ Rogers about 6/10 of a second back and Ronnie Osmer 1.2 seconds back. Skrmita starting to fall off the pace just a little bit in 4th, and Humphrey on his back bumper now.
And our leader, Andrew Hillman, beginning to catch some lap traffic, some guys that were involved in that incident earlier that there was no caution for. So we'll have to see if these leaders can get through these guys in the back cleanly. Goes around the 93.
Yeah, he's got 3 cars under a blanket right in front of him, so he'll have to navigate them safely, but he probably won't have too many issues with it, but everyone else behind him may cause more problems for.
And that allows AJ Rogers to close right up behind Andrew Himmelman, and as well as Osmer now only a half-second back. Now a big race for the lead, the 20 of Hillman to the bottom of the lap car, now having to race hard against the number 17 of AJ Rogers. As they go around the lap car of the number 91.
One more car for them to navigate here is, looks like the 94 gave way to him there.
Yeah, the 9 of Kyle Adcock. We'll have to see how well these leaders can get around the number 9. Looks like he's going to give them the lane.
AJ Rogers kind of got caught up there and couldn't go all the way to the wall, lost a little bit of ground. But all 3 of them now clear and heading down into turn 3.
The top 3 now just 6/10 of a second separating all the top 3, but only 2/10 between the top 2 as we've got about 15 laps to the end of the stage. These top 3 all going for the stage win. Osmer, he is up 31 positions since we started, trying to get 2 more. But Osmer, very fast early in this race, has done a great job of keeping that car clean as he drives through the pack.
We got 2 cars up into the fence here. Looks like the 93 and the 12, but we're going to stay green.
That 12, Dylan Falovich, currently in 15th spot, just ahead of Bill Stringfellow.
Yeah, I think he was running in the top 10 when that happened, and kind of got caught up with the slower lapped car in the 93. And they were up near the wall there for a second, but don't think they actually made any contact.
Yeah, Jamie Dunning, he's out there in 9th looking to get a stage point or two, as he's kept his car clean. And in the battle right now, though, is for 10th. He got Patrick Colby and then a long line of cars right behind him with only 11 laps to the end of the stage. We'll have to see if some of these guys can get up here. John McMillan Jr. looking like he may be one to mount a charge, but now Colby gets a little bit of a gap as these guys are racing hard for 11th position. Colby, he's up 19 spots, McMillan up 22. So a lot of big movers in this race, as we've had some incidents early. Take some of these guys up front and put them in the back. And one thing that these cautions have created is a lot of these guys towards the back may have come in and gotten fuel, so they could probably stretch it a little bit longer if we get continue to go green. And then all these leaders have stayed out, so we'll have to see how that fuel situation turns out. But still a long way to go before they'll need to pit.
Yeah, and even though we didn't have a ton of green flag laps, it's very possible that maybe guys like the 28 of Patrick Colby and the 51 of John McMillan actually got tires there before this run started. So maybe they have a little bit fresher rubber, and that could be part of the reason they're moving up through the field.
Yeah, certainly a possibility, but Ronnie Osmer, and we have got a caution. Looks like the 26 around.
77.
And the 77.
Didn't exactly see what happened there, but we'll get a replay of it.
'26 got sideways and hit the 2, and the 77 goes into the side of the 26. You couldn't quite see the 77. A lot of times when there's this many cars in, the back of the pack's kind of blinking in and out on our screen. They're not in the actual race session, but the 26 and the 77, heavy damage. Did you see the 26 just got loose coming off the corner?
Yeah, it looks like he just tried to gas it up a little bit too much, and it got away from him there and went around. Certainly very easy to do on a slick racing surface here, and all of our leaders are heading to pit road.
You know, and Casey Herring gets involved in another one, and none of these have been his fault. He's just been an innocent bystander. Yeah, everybody down the pit lane with only 5 laps to go. We'll have to see if anybody stays out and tries to nab a stage point. I don't think anybody is going to stay out. Possibly, actually, Joey Doucette. Joey Doucette may stay out, so he's going to at least get a lap led. 2 cars going to take a wave around, looks like.
Looks like the 55 is able to beat the 17 off pit road there, so AJ Rogers is going to fall back behind the 55, and he might be a tough one to pass back for AJ Rogers.
Yeah, especially with these new tires. Ronnie Osmer's done a great job driving through this field. You could tell there at the end of the run his tires were starting to get wore out. So I think Ronnie Osmer was very welcome for this caution, open for it. But Joey Doucette, he's our leader right now, and we'll have to see if he can hold on to the top 10 as we will score stage points at the end of lap 70.
Looks like we're going to get about a 3-lap shootout to score those stage points. Obviously, we don't go under caution for this stage, but 3 laps for guys to make their way up into the top 20, and 3 laps that Joey Doucette is going to have to hold off this field to gain any stage points here.
Well, hold on. Joey Doucette now pulls into the pit lane. He's going to go ahead and take his tires. He was looking to get a lap lead, not going to try and get out there and win the stage or try and maintain top 10. Doucette will go ahead and take his tires.
That is going to cycle the 20 of Andrew Himmelman back to the lead with Ronnie Osmer on his outside for this restart. No one's been able to touch the 20 right off the bat on these restarts, so we'll see if he can get out to that early lead and win this stage. They are double filing, coming back to the green.
Yeah, Himmelman's been doing a great job on the restarts. We haven't seen Osmer up here in a position in second or third. He restarted 4th last time, drove into the 3rd spot, had a great pits, and now he's up into 2nd. So we'll have to see if on this restart, if he can get a good enough restart to hold to the back of the 20, and then maybe in the next 2 or 3 laps, get around him before this stage is over. The green flag out, Andrew Hillman, another good restart. Osmer with a great run through 1 and 2. He's now at the inside of the 20, and he's around the 20. New leader, Ronnie Osmer. Hillman now back to the back bumper. Can he do anything before this stage is over? Looks like the 2 of Casey was getting a little sideways back there. He locks it up. The 12, the 81, 77, 8, 21 all involved. And another caution on the speedway. Casey Herring looked like he was maybe a little loose off the corner is what started that.
He tried to save that thing all the way down the straightaway and then finally lost it and collected quite a few other cars.
He may have tagged the outside wall. I believe that's what it was. And he gets a little bit sideways, and the 4 tags him. He goes back up, just barely touches the outside wall, which then sends him back down. And he locked it up, but there was just nowhere to go for the 12. The 81 hits the back of the 12 hard. The 77 also involved. I believe he had just taken his fast repair. The 8 as well. There's the 21. Looks like the 26 maybe.
And at this point, the whole track is just completely blocked and nowhere for anybody to go that didn't check up soon enough. And ended up being a really big crash, but that one took a whole straightaway to develop.
Looks like he may have gotten into the side of the 83 as well. Yeah, several cars involved in the back. Let's take one more look, this time from the blimp cam. '19 was maybe involved a little bit, but I don't think he got a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, and at this point, just nowhere for any of these guys to go.
Yeah, the whole track blocked. Phoenix, it's a difficult track because there's an inside wall and the outside wall, and there's really not a shoulder or anywhere to go in these situations.
Yeah, the entire front stretch and even down into turn one. When there's a wreck, there's usually a bunch of people get involved because there's not enough room for guys to go down to the apron to avoid it or anything like that. On the back stretch, obviously, you have a lot of room to get around stuff, but yeah, you get on that front stretch and you get involved in a wreck, then there's going to be a lot of carnage usually.
Well, as they come across the line that time, Ronnie Osmer going to be our stage winner. Second spot goes to Andrew Hillman, led most of this race and ends up the 55 right at the end, gets around to win the stage. But Andrew Hillman comes home second, Blake Giglio third, Travis Scramita in fourth spot, AJ Rogers fifth, Tyler Humphrey sixth, Jason Humphrey in seventh, Chris Carter comes home eighth spot, Jamie Dunning in ninth, and Patrick Colby does a good job and comes home 10th at the end of the stage. They're already going double file once again.
From 34th to 1st in 70 laps. That's how you get it done.
Absolutely, up 33 spots. We saw him trying to qualify and didn't quite get out there quick enough to get a qualifying lap in. And he starts in the back of the field. I don't think I would have chosen him to be the stage winner as he was that far back in the field. But Ronnie Osmer surprising everybody, driving all the way through the field and takes the stage win here at Phoenix.
We'll see what kind of a jump the 55 can get out to, see if he can do what the 20's been doing to the field all day.
Green flag, Osmer out front. Giglio, he gets a good start there in the third spot. Now he'll move to second, and AJ Rogers, he moves all the way up to third as Himmelman, not used to starting in the outside lane, didn't get a great restart. He drops back to fourth. We'll have to see if he can get in line, but looks like Tyler Humphrey now looking low. And a caution.
Got the 38 around in 3 and 4. Matthew Goodell. Looks like just a single car incident. May have just tagged somebody else there going by, but just another scenario where diving for the bottom of the track and a car there. It's happened numerous times today.
And let's see if we can get a better look at this, because it looks like maybe him and the 73 came together. They go into the corner, the 73 into the corner hard, and the 73 into the side of the 38, and the 38 just goes right around. And the 38, he backs it hard into the outside wall. The 27 tags the 38, but I think that's all the damage that he gets. The 98, just a little bit of damage. No, that shouldn't affect him as we go forward.
Yeah, that one kind of a combination of driving into the corner a little too hard on the bottom and the 38 coming down, towards that white line or towards that yellow line a little bit. But kind of just ran out of racing room there.
We'll take a look from the inside of Mark True's car.
Yeah, not a horrible entry for him into the corner there. It's about how you would normally do it, so just kind of a racing incident there.
Osmer still out front. Blake Giglio hanging on to the second spot. AJ Rogers third. Himmelman slips back to fourth on that restart. And Tyler Humphrey looking very strong in fifth. Travis Scramita, last week's winner, in sixth spot. Jason Humphrey in seventh. Christopher Carter in eighth. Patrick Colby ninth. And Jamie Dunning still in the top 10. John McMillan Jr. in a good-looking UFA car.
Tyler Humphrey in the 94 has had a chance to visit pit road, but did not use the fast repair as his back bumper is still caved in. But obviously not affecting him speed-wise too much as he's running in the fifth position. Just a few laps away from halfway through this race, and we are going double file for another restart.
Yeah, side by side, Osmer going to be the control car this time. He did a great job restarting from the second spot. We'll have to see if anybody else can do what he did. Osmer with another good restart here. Looking for some give and take as we go forward. The 20 kind of stuck in the middle. Tyler Humphrey now moves into the fourth spot. The 20, he's slipping back a little bit, now in sixth. Chris Carter trying to make some moves. He's now up into the seventh position. Oh, there goes Jamie Dunning around, hard into the outside wall.
And caution will be out.
Yeah, I don't know if he knew that they were three wide.
He was having a good run up inside the top 10 for most of the day there, and I believe he was running 10th when this happened. Yeah, it kind of looks like he didn't know they were three wide there and didn't quite give enough room.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, he was up a couple of lanes, but, you know, yeah, there just wasn't enough room for three cars, but, I mean, we shouldn't be going three wide. Let's take a look from the 48's view. He's the car down on the bottom lane. Colby trying to give room, but the 13 comes down into the 28 on the outside lanes. Yeah, Dunning just didn't realize that they were three wide there.
Yeah, 48 got a great run down the backstretch and took advantage of it, but it put those two guys on his outside in a little rough position, taking them three wide, but
Dunning now, he drops back all the way to 29th after that crash. Quite a bit of damage to the rear of the car.
I haven't seen him involved in anything else, so either just get regular repairs or get a fast repair on that thing and see if he can drive its way back into the top 10.
You know, Casey Herring back there at 31st with quite a bit of damage. These guys having a hard time getting back up through the field.
The one guy that's kind of quietly found his way up towards the front here is Blake Giglio in the 16. He was started on the outside of the front row that last restart, and AJ Rogers able to get around him, but that 16 car has quite a bit of speed here, and haven't really mentioned his name a whole lot.
Yeah, and you see down there at the bottom, Blake Giglio, age 15, the youngest driver in this league, but finds himself up in the top 5, top 10 every single week. One of the fastest drivers, and he's up in the top 5 in points as well.
It's definitely always fun to see how young some of these drivers get started. My nephew races here on iRacing, and he's just 11 years old, so he's done a pretty good job. So, you know, certainly get started at a very young age, and they work their way up.
Yeah, I race in a league on Tuesday nights, and there's a driver in that league that's 11, and he's always up front. And he runs that league, has different series, an ARCA series, and he went back-to-back wins in the ARCA series. So these young drivers can get it done. But right now, Ronnie Osmer out front for the restart. Osmer jumps to the outside very quick. AJ Rogers arcs it into the bottom. We're looking for some more green flag laps.
Still side by side for third, as the 94 is going to hang tough on the outside of the 16 here.
You can get a good run on the outside off this corner. And that's what happens. The 94 clears the 16 off turn number 4 and down the front stretch. Now single file for the top 10. Stringfellow made his way now back up to 9th position now.
Yeah, he's had a nice, slow, steady march. I've seen him let some guys go that were pressuring him, but he's picked them off methodically, and all the way up to 9th position after starting third, but getting caught up in that wreck early on. Another big mover in this race is the 28 of Patrick Colby. He started 29th, and he's up to the 7th position right now. Restarted 9th on that restart, up 2 positions from that.
And he's now into the 7th spot. Patrick Colby had a great run last week, got some stage points, finished up in the top, and now we've got a caution. Number 8 is around. Single car incident, looks like, right at the start finish line. Off the corner, gets a little bit loose. Yeah, a lot loose, and just hard into the inside wall for the number 8, Nicholas Biscotti. Doesn't look like anyone else was involved as he holds those brakes in the center of the track.
Kind of like he just got up out of the groove away from where the rubber was, and that car just snapped loose on him coming off of 4 there. A couple of drivers up at the front thought about coming to pit road, but they all stay out here once again. Just past the halfway point.
And we're 90 laps in, but 13 cautions. This race plagued with cautions. A lot of loose race cars out there coming off the corners. They get sideways and go around just like that last one with the number 8 of Nicholas Biscotti.
Looks like in the chat saying that Andrew Hillman is also 15 years old, so a couple of really young drivers in 4th and 5th right now. Impressive from these youngsters.
Yeah, Himmelman, he was our pole sitter. And doing a great thing with that little business he's got going, Sim Shots, one of our sponsors. And they do a phenomenal job with the iRacing photography. If you need professional iRacing photography, there's nowhere else to go other than Sim Shots. They do a great job. .90 laps in, we're getting ready to go green once again. Light's still on the pace car right now. Tyler Humphrey, he's moved all the way up to third. And he's stayed inside the top 10.
This race has that feel of wanting to go green for a while. Like they kind of get stretched out, and just kind of been some single car or some little incidents here and there that have kept it from having that long green flag run. But this race has a feeling like it wants to go green, so we'll see if maybe we can get a good like 40-50 lap run in here and make it interesting for the end.
Yeah, that would be great. Some of these guys in the back who may have just pitted, that may benefit them very well as we go along if we can get some green flag runs.
That may have been a very key strategy shift in this race, whether or not you pitted on that restart. If we do get a long green flag run here, those guys that pitted will benefit from it.
Yeah, absolutely. We roll around. The pace car now off the track. It's all on Ronnie Osmer as they come off turn 4. And Osmer with a good jump, but these guys seem like they were ready for it as he doesn't get out to a huge lead. Now Tyler Humphrey makes the move for second, the inside of AJ Rogers. Rogers going to hold strong on the outside. Now they're 3 wide.
27 gets hit from behind by the 93, and then he collects the 13 and the 38 hard into the wall. Back in the field. They were racing really aggressive there, and big stack up. Thought they were going to save it for a second, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, 93 sent it in. The 27 goes around. A lot of cars involved. Let's take a look one more time. We get a better angle. Yeah, the 27 and the 22 all check up the same amount, but the 93 in hard. And he shoots all the way up to the outside of the track. The 27 tries his best to hold on.
Thought he had it saved, and then he just turns back down the track into the 13 and head on into the outside wall for the 13.
Yeah, a hard hit for Jamie Dunning. The 12, 38 also involved. They get hit hard. Yet another caution, 94 laps in.
All of our leaders staying out once again here. Not a whole lot of green flag laps on their tires, but they do add up each time. And you get those heat cycles going, and those tires will lose a little bit of grip.
Yeah, some of these guys in the backs still in there getting some incidents or getting some damage repaired. So what we need here is green flag racing. And Chris Carter, he's back there in the 8th spot. He's not quite gotten up there into the top 5. I raced a practice race with these guys the other night, and Chris Carter was one that was up there. He was running 2nd along with Stringfellow. Those two battling for 2nd and 3rd in the practice race. So
it kind of seemed like Carter's had a little bit of a tough time on restarts and just kind of loses a spot or holds serve. But when we had that long green flag run, it looked like he was able to pass some guys. So looks like he has good pace, just not flying on the restarts each time.
yeah, Chris Carter definitely benefits from long green flag runs. As we get ready to go green again, now Ronnie Osmer, that time got a huge jump. They're going to be side by side going into turn number 1, the 94 and the 17, as well as the 20 of Himmelman. Now he jumps up, racing Blake Giglio. Skrmita now down to the inside. They're 3 wide. Let's see how they come together. Looks like Giglio going to do the smart thing of backing out, letting those two race in front of him. Tyler Humphreys trying to get that spot away from our point leader, A.J. Rogers. Himmelman now to the inside. They're 3 wide. Tyler does a great job of backing out, as Hillman had a great run. And now he's all the way up to the inside of the 17 for 2nd spot. And he will clear the number 17 of A.J. Rogers.
Some good hard racing up front, and back here in the back a little bit. The 83 starting to join this group as he's all the way up to the 8th position, still marching his way forward.
Yeah, a pack of 4 cars racing right in front of him. He's going to let them get it sorted out, but he's moving up ever so close now to the back of the number 28 of Patrick Colby.
Now all of your top 10 are pretty much single file, with the exception of the 89 and the 83 right now, it looks like. They're side by side. Actually, it's going to be the 89 and the 28 side by side trying to battle things out. And now the 25 is going to go outside the 48 here. Still side by side as they go down into turn 3.
Yeah, the 89, he may have burnt those tires up early in this run. He was up there battling with Giglio for 4th and Rogers for 3rd, but now he slips back, and Bill Stringfellow trying to make a move now. We have another caution on the track.
We got the 15 around in turn 1. Looks like he had a little bit of help there, but nobody else caught up in it.
They go down into turn number 1 next to Doug Neal. Yeah, it looks like Doug may have gotten into the corner a little bit hot and hits the side of the 15. The 15 goes around. You see the front tires of Mark True locked up, trying not to hit him. Does tag him just a little bit in the nose. But other than that, just the one car goes around.
Didn't seem like the contact was a whole lot in the door, maybe a little bit of netcode playing into that, but all of our leaders are hitting pit road with the exception of the 16. He stays out on the track.
Looks like Stringfellow as well and Doug Neal all stay out. Mark True, Justin Lumpkin as well staying out. Cogswell, Travis White, Kevin Franks, Kyle Adcock, Joey Doucette all staying on the racetrack. So that may be all right for Giglio, as a lot of these cars choose to stay out.
Definitely feels like this is a turning point strategy-wise in this race. As you said, a number of drivers stay out here, and the really fast cars are going to have to work their way up through to get back to the lead.
Yeah, so it looks like Doucette right now in the 10th spot. The last car to stay out. So the top 10 all on a little bit older tires. But Blake Giglio and Bill Stringfellow out there on the oldest tires.
If we do get a long green flag run here, I think it's going to be beneficial for the likes of the 55 and the 20 and the 17. But if we continue at these 5-6 lap runs and then a caution, could play into the 16 and 83's hand.
Yeah, absolutely. But we've only got 60 laps to go. A lot of these cars could make it to the end, I believe, from here, and I'm not sure our two front runners can, but with a lot older tires, we'll have to see. It definitely makes an interesting situation as old tires, new tires, and we'll have to see as these cars with new tires drive through the field how well they make it through.
Certainly going to be keeping an eye on the 55 here as we are double file and getting ready to go back green. 55 and the 20 are the first two cars on fresh tires, starting 11th and 12th, and we'll have to see how quickly they are able to make their way up through the field. 55 has been on rails all day, so really for him, I think it's about just not making any contact and keeping his nose clean, and he'll find his way back up to the front.
Giglio, good restart. Even on old tires, Stringfellow, he's now out second. A lot of these front runners going to try and take it easy.
55 wasted no time, was up through the middle of 3 wide of 2 different rows, and now going to be 3 wide on the bottom. No, he slots in behind the 4 car. All the way up to the 7th position, just on the backstretch.
Yeah, Osmer making moves. Now one around the 98, sideways. Caution on the track. I think he was one that had stayed out. May have gotten a little help from the 20. Oh, the 20 hard into the outside wall. I think he got it a lot harder than anybody else. Let's take a look one more time.
Yeah, if he doesn't have a fast repair, I'm afraid his day may be done. That was a hard hit on that outside wall for the 20.
Yeah, he should have one fast repair because he's been out front this whole race. Yeah, they were in there 3 wide. The 98 was kind of low, but the 20 in the middle lane tags the 98.
He saw what the 55 did going in the middle of 3 wide of 2 different rows on that first lap, and try to do the same thing, and it didn't work out for him. That's definitely the perils of pitting and having to start behind some guys on older tires. Is got to keep your nose clean.
This may have been a good idea for Giglio and Stringfellow to get out front and try and avoid all these wrecks.
Yeah, the big question for them is, are they going to have enough fuel if we do get these little green flag stints, toward the end? They may be able to hold off, most of these guys that got fresh tires and get a good finish still, but I don't know if they have enough fuel to get to the end because it's probably been about 60 laps since they came down pit road.
Yeah, they've been out there quite a while. Looks like they actually may be out there saving fuel right now. Riding around behind the brand new iRacing pace car. Before this one's over, the pace car may have to make a fuel stop and get new tires.
It's a pretty sharp looking pace car. I hadn't noticed that before.
Yeah, that was just brought in the most recent update. iRacing built that car themselves. It's not really a real car from what I was told. That is an iRacing design pace car.
They are side by side once again and coming to the green flag.
Giglio going to lead us off. Stringfellow on the outside lane. That time Bill had a great restart. He'll get down behind the 16.
We got making contact back in the field. The 17 got tagged by the 22.
We're still green flag. 17 trying to make his way back up after pitting on those 2 cautions ago.
AJ Rogers definitely lost a few positions with that. He's back in the 11th place now. Able to keep it straight, but the 55 now marching up through the field, and he's working on 4th place right now.
There's one around the 7. Hard into the outside wall. Let's take a look. The 48's all the way against the yellow line. I'm not sure there's much else he could have done. You see the hands of the 7 turning that wheel to the right.
Thought he was going to save it for a second, but obviously went around enough for the caution to come out.
Yeah, saved it, overcorrected, then went back around the second time, but not a tremendous amount of damage. Should be able to continue.
Andrew Himmelman in the number 20 is back in the 20th position. Looked like he did have a faster pair remaining, so he will try to start the march back up towards the front here. Restarted in the 24th position and up to 20th before that caution came out.
Yeah, Andrew, he's been very fast. Gonna have to try and make his way up through the field.
.50 laps remaining here, and 55 of Ronnie Osmer up to the 4th position, but nobody else that took tires is up there with him. AJ Rogers, I believe, in 10th. Maybe Travis Gurmita in the 89 also has fresh tires, but I know that the 4 of Justin Lumpkin and the 23 of Travis White are both still on their old tires, as is the 16, the 83, the 77, the 73, and the 27. So the 55 marching his way up, and a little bit of front end damage on that 55 actually, but everyone else having a little bit harder time making their way up through these cars on older tires.
Yeah, Osmer, he's the one on new tires, and he's driven all the way up through the field. He may be the favorite to win this race. We're getting some information from YouTube. Nate Maurer saying the 77 has enough to make it to the end.
That could lead you to believe that the 16 and 83 do as well.
Yeah, if Doug Neal's got it, then the rest should be able to make it to the end. So we'll have to see if there's a long green flag run, which, you know, I'm not sure we're going to get one. Then that certainly plays into the 55's hands. But these guys up front, Giglio and Stringfellow, Doug Neal, if we get a lot of cautions, they are going to be the beneficiaries of staying out on that last caution when everyone else pitted. Another little tidbit from YouTube, Nate Maurer saying Ronnie Osmer raced in the ARCA series at Daytona in real life. So Ronnie Osmer, real life race car driver, driving in the virtual world tonight, and he's showing off what he can do, driving all the way up into 4th spot now as they go green. Blake Giglio with a great restart. Doug Neal, he's on the inside, but 83 of Stringfellow will clear for the 2nd spot, but there comes Osmer cutting across that dog leg.
He is up to the 3rd position and knocking on the back bumper of the 83 now.
Run a little bit higher of a line that time through the corner. And the 16, he lets off big time, lets the 83 of Stringfellow around. Now Stringfellow into the lead, now battling by side with the 16 of Giglio. Giglio moves up, Stringfellow gets out. Now he's going to lead a lap. That's going to be a point for Bill Stringfellow. Bill looking for vindication from last week. The 55 of Osmer gets to the inside of Blake Giglio for second spot. Can't quite hold it as the 16 gets a great run off the corner. These two now both catching the 83 of Stringfellow.
AJ Rogers leading the charge of the rest with fresh tires as he's in 7th. And 7 car is going to go around in the dog leg. Just a single car spin there once again, but we're back under caution.
Let's see what happened to the 7 this time. Looks like all by himself off the corner, just gets loose and does his best to save it, but can't quite get it done. He'll go all the way around, but enough for a caution.
Been a tough day there for the number 7 of Lee Grantley. Not a whole lot of damage on that car, but he's been involved in a number of accidents today. Some of his own doing and some not.
Yeah, Grandy, he's a late addition to this league, but he's been finishing well so far in his couple of starts, but having a rough time today at Phoenix. Now Stringfellow and Giglio are going to have to survive another restart with Osmer right behind. Another name that I haven't mentioned much today was involved in an incident earlier. That's Jonathan Cogswell in 6th spot. He's up 26 positions. And very fast. He stayed out on that caution where everyone else pitted, and he's maintained, but he's got a lot of tires, new tires right behind him. But as we get through a couple of these heat cycles, he may be able to hold off these guys with new tires, as he's done it so far for about 20 laps.
Each time we get a caution here, it's just going to kind of play into the hands of those guys that did not stop for tires, as the heat cycles and the laps on the fresh tires are going to equal out the advantage, and then it's just going to become who has the best car at that point. But for the 27 of Cogswell, it's going to be tough to hold off really the 4 guys right behind him all with fresh rubber, but we'll see what he can do. That 20 car all the way up to 14th, he's been marching his way solidly forward after his accident, so he's certainly going to have something to say in the top 10 before the end of this thing.
Yes, Andrew Hillman, he was, like he said, fast on the short run, and that's what we keep getting is several short runs. So he's been leapfrogging driver after driver, has moved all the way back up in to currently 13th position. So Andrew Hillman, we'll keep our eye on that SimShot Chevrolet.
And right behind him is Jamie Dunning, who's been involved in a couple of accidents. So Jamie kind of following Andrew up through the field, it seems. Maybe both of them can work their way back up into the top 10 before this thing is done.
Yeah, Jamie, he's done a great job. Had to use a fast repair, but he's kept the car clean for the remainder of this race so far. Bill Stringfellow, he's going to be the control car as we roll back around.
We are doubled up and headed through turn 4, getting ready for another restart. 40 laps to go.
Pace car off and into pit lane. Bill Stringfellow gives it gas, but you see Ronnie Osmer was prepared. He has a good restart. Now he's looking to the inside of Blake. Blake going to try and battle that 55 for the second spot. Osmer shooting through the dog leg once again. He's now looking to the inside of Blake, but Blake holding strong, keeping that 55 back.
AJ Rogers up in the air and around and gets piled into from the 5 car as well, but AJ Rogers all the way up in the air there, bringing out that caution.
Let's see what happened to AJ Rogers. He comes up into the side of the 73. Yeah, the 17 airborne spins around.
Looks like he's going to collect the 23 and the 13 a little bit there. And then late coming into the picture, another car slid sideways right into him. Just coming back up on the track after cutting that dog leg and ran out of room there trying to make it down into turn 3.
Yeah, 73. A little bump to the 17 is all it took, and he goes around and hard into the outside wall. Like you said, 23 and 13 both involved as well. Oh, as well as the 5. He comes in trying to brake and slides it into the outside wall. AJ Rogers is going to have to go in and take that fast repair. Now on our 19th caution. Right now, Stringfellow and Giglio looking very smart, staying out front. They've done a good job being able to hold off Osmer in third.
Looks as though the 27 of Jonathan Cogswell came down pit road after he had stayed out and was running up front. Maybe he couldn't make it on gas, or he just knew he couldn't hold his position up in the top 10, but he's going to have really fresh rubber coming from the back now.
Yeah, good call on Cogswell. He was up front, but so with those fresh tires, we'll have to watch Cogswell. He runs up through from the back, but now we're double foul. 27 just now coming off the pits. He's going to come out 26th position.
But coming out where he did, he's going to have to restart at the tail end of the longest line, I believe, so it's going to hurt his progress forward. Not sure if he had some damage there from something, because he was on pit road for a while.
And one that we've been watching there through that little bit of a green flag, Andrew Hillman, he moves all the way back up into the top 10, now in 9th position. So a good move for Andrew. He is pacing that car up to the front. Let's see over the next couple of laps. See a lot of damage at the back of the 73, so we'll see moving forward where he ends up. Stringfellow on the restart, pace car in. Giglio now trying to get down in front of Osmer, and he does.
73, Mark True had a little bit of contact. He goes high in turn 1 and 2, but he's gonna lose a lot of positions, but keeps it straight. Was running in the 7th position before that happened.
Yeah, and a lot of damage to that 73 of Mark True. And right now, Blake Giglio is Bill Stringfellow's best friend. See Osmer sliding it down to the bottom. Actually loses a little bit of time going through the dog leg as Tyler Humphrey now trying to pressure Osmer for the 3rd spot.
Humphrey has the same tires that Osmer has in the 55 as he's made his way up through there, and Himmelman up to 6th position in that 20 car. I think he has the freshest tires of everyone.
Yeah, he's moving through. He's around the 89 out of the inside of the 77 of Doug Neal.
We got the 9 car around in Dog Leg, bringing out our 20th caution of the race with just over 20 laps or 30 laps to go.
Oh, he tagged the outside wall. Looks like the 22 was around, got loose through there as well, but comes across the nose of the 4 as the 9 tagged the outside wall. There was really nowhere for the 4 to go. Not a lot of damage in that incident, but it is enough for a caution as the car, the number 9, stopped on the track.
The way Osmer is driving up through the field, I really thought he's just going to go right past the 83 and the 16, but those two have strong cars up front, and Osmer having a tough time getting around him. And then Tyler Humphrey's now putting pressure on the 55, and Andrew Himmelman is going to have something to say about who wins this race, as he's currently running in the 6th position.
Yeah, I think Andrew Hillman, he's the guy in the catbird seat right now with the newest tires up front. And he's got enough time to get around these front runners. But I think Osmer, with the green flag laps that we've run, I think he's burned his tires up enough to be even with Stringfellow and Giglio. I think Humphrey may be a little bit better than the top 3. Neal kind of on the same with Stringfellow and Giglio, but Himmelman, he is the one to watch, I believe, as we go forward. But the 94, he heads down pit road, maybe trying to take an extra set of tires.
Definitely did not see that coming, pitting from the 4th position there.
No, I didn't see that one coming either.
But
Tyler Humphrey, we'll have to see if he takes tires as he slides into his pit. Yep, tires for the 94.
didn't look like he took a fast repair. I don't know if he has one remaining, but that back bumper's still wrinkled, so chances are he just came down for tires, maybe a little bit of repairs.
Yeah, he's sitting there. Looks like he's getting a few more repairs. The 17 behind AJ Rogers, he came down and got a fast repair. Stringfellow, he's got quite a bit of damage to that front bumper. He's hit somebody hard. That may be where the damage to the back of the 94 come from.
Yeah, I didn't see that damage on the 83 till just recently, but he certainly still is fast out front, that's for sure.
Yeah, that damage not bothering him too much. He's been able to hold off Giglio, but Giglio is the one that people are going to have to get through to get to the 83 of Stringfellow. Giglio been doing a great job of holding that second spot. We go green flag. The 55, he tried to jump a little bit earlier on the 83, and the 83 went late into the restart zone.
Kind of
Checks everybody up. But what that does is help Blake Giglio on the outside lane, now side by side with the 83, and there goes the 20 down to the inside as he's looking now to the inside of Ronnie Osmond for the third spot. Osmond now looking low for second spot. Gets a little bit loose. Now Himmelman, he dives through the dog leg, trying to get a little bit of an advantage up to the inside of the 55. They go down into turn 3. They're side by side for third position. You know, we've got several drivers of different ages in this race, but I think something that I find interesting, first and fourth, both 15 years old. They've done the best job of keeping their car clean. Sometimes a lot of these older guys, they see that somebody's young and they worry if they're going to cause incidents and stuff, but I really think we need to get Giglio and Himmelman to try and teach some of these older fellas how to drive.
Yeah, for sure. It's usually when those young guns are, you know, in a good competitive racing league, they're clean, fast drivers. So,
yeah, the two youngest drivers in this race, in this whole league, Himmelman in fourth, Giglio in first, both 15 years of age.
got the 98 around off of turn 4 in that Tennessee Volunteers paint scheme.
He was down on the inside. Come off the corner, just got loose and nails the inside wall all by himself. No one else hits the 98 as they go around. We're down to the final 22 laps. Got a couple cars looking. We watch pit entry. Nobody actually comes in. A couple cars faking.
I was actually impressed that the 16 got back around the 83 with them being on equal tires. I didn't know that he was going to be able to do that. I thought that one little bobble that let the 83 by may have cost him the race, but able to get back past the 83, and the Osmer is still stuck back behind Giglio and Stringfellow. And Himmelman knocking on everyone's back bumper right now, saying, I'm here and I'm fast.
Yeah, Osmer drove all the way up through the field and got back up into third or fourth very quickly, but hasn't been able to really get a decent shot at these top two. He's kind of stuck his nose in a couple of times, but hasn't been able to get the run off the corner to hold it there. He's having to hold into third position, but now he's got his hands full with Himmelman as that number 20 has driven all the way up through, restarted 20th. At one point, comes all the way back up to fourth spot. And Osmer going to have his hands full with that 20 car.
Tyler Humphrey in the 94, who pit for tires and repairs, drove his way from the 26th position to 19th in those few laps. So he may have something to say about a top 10 finish before this is done.
Start to go 2 by 2 one more time. Hopefully we can go green from now to the end. We'll have to see if the 20 of Andrew Hillman can get a good restart on the outside. Didn't have a good restart earlier on the outside.
Going to be 18 laps to go when we get the green flag here.
Giglio, the control car, he comes off the corner, gets a good restart. Maybe Hillman can get down now, and he does. Great restart for the 20.
Wrecking in turn 3 right now. Just as the 55 is looking around the 83, we'll see who they give the position to. Looks like the 55 is going to get second place there as a caution comes out.
That time the 7 and the 38 looks like they come together. And bouncing back and forth, the 38 up into the 13 and the 13 hard into the outside wall.
An innocent bystander there was Jamie.
Yeah, innocent bystander Jamie Dunning. He had done a great job of keeping his car clean, but now that car destroyed back in the back. Yeah, he's going to be out of this race.
He had used his fast repair on an earlier incident, so I believe that is going to be the end of things for him. So Ronnie Osmer did get the second position there, and he'll restart on the outside of Blake Giglio. Probably not what the 16 wanted to see, as he knew that the 83 was on the same tires as him, but he's going to have to hold off the 55 for the last 13 or so laps when we go back green here. And the 20 still stuck back in the 4th position. He marched his way right up there, but maybe having to pass everybody, he burnt his tires up a little bit.
Yeah, one interesting thing is that Blake Giglio and Bill Stringfellow down there on that inside line are both teammates. So they're talking to each other. So we may see here early in this or on this restart, the 16 giving 83 kind of a heads up of when he's going to go, and we may see the 83 back to the inside of the 55 going into turn 1.
Guy we haven't mentioned a whole lot is the guy in 5th place right now, the 77 of Doug Neal. Started in the 35th position, and he's running 5th right now. Just kind of been quiet right there in the 5th to 6th spot for these last 20 or 30 laps, and running real solid.
Yeah, and Simbox is the presenting sponsor of the SERL. That's a company owned by Doug Neal, makes button boxes. So if you need a button box, go to Simbox PC on Facebook, and he will get you hooked up. We're getting down to the closing laps. Hopefully we don't have to use any green-white checkers. On the restart, yep, Giglio and the 83 both go at the same time. They both get a good restart. 83 now to the inside of the 55. That's the battle for second. The 20 now, he's going to go to the bottom and look low.
Definitely pays off to have teammates, as that was a great start from the 83 there.
These two still battling for second spot. 55 holding the 83 down. He's going to get a run off the corner. He may clear the 83. No, the 83 back down to the bottom. 55 stuck outside. Looks like he will clear the 83, but the 20 now, he's going to go to the inside of the 83. Andrew Hillman takes a look for a top 3 spot.
He's going to get it, as now this top 5 is single file and stretching itself out a little bit. A lot of hard racing from about 8th back to 15th. Tyler Humphrey in the 94 still marching his way forward in the 13th position right now. And he just took over the 12th position on the outside of the 15 of Matthew Prentice.
You know, Tyler Humphrey, he's only got 10 laps to go to try and get back into the top 10, but there's a big group of cars right in front of him. He may be able to get several of them. Grandy, he's moved all the way up. Seen him involved in a couple incidents, but he's moved all the way up to 11th. A great recovery for the number 7. Oh, but he gets loose once again. Saves it from hitting the outside wall. Tyler Humphrey gets around. Now he's headed towards the top 10, now in 11th spot. The battle up front. Giglio still out front. Osmer getting pressure from Himmelman for second spot.
.16 even starting to pull away from the 55 a little bit here. And 20 putting some pressure on the back bumper of Osmer there, as Himmelman gonna look to the inside, but down through the dogleg.
Yeah, it looks like the 55 out of that corner got a little bit loose. You see him breaking into that corner, gets a little bit loose. He's sliding those tires. He may not be able to hold off the 20 for 5 more laps. The 20 now sideways off the corner. That's going to create a little bit of a gap between the 55 and the 20. Let's see how quick he can run him back down. But the 55, if the 20 can get around the 55, he may have something for Blake Giglio for this win.
That 16 car looking in his rearview mirror saying, battle it out, boys, battle it out. Coming to the line for 6 to go this time, and 20 car seems a little bit faster than the 55 right now, but just can't find his way around him.
Yeah, 55 Got real hard in that corner. Now he see him slipping and sliding. 55 may have burned those tires up. The 20 now, this is his best shot to get around the 55. He's down to the inside into turn number 3. Andrew Himmelman now into the second position as he'll have to try and run down our leader, Blake Giglio. You see Osmer just driving that car off the corner, very loose, but able to hold on.
The gap is 0.6 of a second at the line with 5 to go. The 20 has been the fastest car on the racetrack these last few laps, and see if he can reel in Giglio in the 16. I don't know that 5 laps is enough time to do it.
No, and you know, no, I don't think it's a coincidence that our top 2 are both 15 years in age. I mean, these guys, they might be young, but they take this seriously. They go out here and they drive to win. They don't go out here to just drive and play around. Both of our top 2, 15 years of age. Very impressive from Blake Giglio and Andrew Himmelman. Looks like the gap's staying right at about 0.6. Himmelman driving hard off the corner, gets sideways. He's going to lose a little bit of space. Now 3 to go. Blake Giglio.
Really nice save there from the 20 to not throw his whole day away as he got really loose off of turn 4 there. Reeled it back in and come to the 2 to go this time by Giglio. Keeping that gap pretty much the same. 20 going to get a little bit loose off of turn 4 once again.
Yeah, Himmelman was starting to catch him a little bit, but gets loose off that corner. The gap back to 6.5. Now back to 5.5. He's closing in. The 20 faster just doesn't have time to get there as we come down almost to the white flag. And if they cross to get that white flag, this race is going to be official. The white flag is out.
20 really loose off of turn 2 there.
And he'll drop back to 4th. Ronnie Osmer in 2nd. Doug Neal and Himmelman now side by side. Oh, they touch, but they hold on. Blake Giglio gonna win here in Phoenix. Ronnie Osmer crosses the line 2nd. Doug Neal holds on for 3rd. Did a great job holding out on those older tires. Andrew Himmelman charges through to field and ends up in 4th spot. Bill Stringfellow 5th. Jason Humphrey comes home 6th. Patrick Colby in 7th. Travis Scramita 8th. John McMillan in 9th. And Tyler Humphrey, he rounds out the top 10, pitting late.
$16 doing some nice burnouts on the front stretch is a well-deserved win from him, holding off a lot of hard chargers on older tires, and that's how you earn a win here at Phoenix.
Yeah, and that burnout right there is proof that Blake Giglio knows what he's doing, because to sling it down through here with these pit walls so tight and not hit either one, that's pretty impressive in itself.
Yeah, he's definitely done that a time or two.
Blake Giglio burning it down on the start-finish line.
Obviously a caution-filled race, but a lot of drama with strategy and who had fresher tires and who didn't anyway, as there's kind of one definitive caution on who pitted when, and Giglio stayed out and held off the hard chargers with fresh tires.
Yeah, he does a great job. Let's see if we can get an interview with our 3rd place finisher, Doug Neal. Hey, Doug, this is Dakota in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Buddy, how you doing?
Hey, doing good. Seems like the winning strategy was to stay out on old tires and fight through those restarts. You did a great job of holding off, and Hillman get loose there at the end, and you pass him and hold on for a third position. Great job, Doug.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I got lucky on that with Andrew there. He got loose coming off 2, and then I got up, above him going into 3, and we were pretty. I think we touched a little bit coming off 4, but yeah, Andrew's a good driver. I like racing with that guy. And as far as pit strategy goes, it was like 80 something to go, and I was in the back already. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and take tires here and fuel up and stay out the rest of the time. So, but as many cautions as we had, it was kind of ugly. We could have probably stayed out the whole time anyway.
Well, that was a risk that paid off, and you gained 32 spots from the start. Very impressive, Doug. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank?
My buddy Nate Maurer, we get in here and we run some practice laps today. Usually do it every Sunday evening before a race, and work on setups, what we're gonna run our ratios at, and everything like that. So big shout out to Nate, Justin White, and Travis White, both teammates. They all had pretty decent runs tonight. We all got caught up in a little bit of trouble, but those guys and. My company, Simbox, if anybody needs a button box, just hit me up on Facebook.com, Simbox PC, or send me a message, and I'll be glad to help you out.
Yeah, and we thank you, Doug, for sponsoring the league. We appreciate it, and you did a great job tonight, and congratulations.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
Okay, in our second place, Ronnie Osmer. Let's see if we can get a word with Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie, this is Dakota to broadcast booth. You got a copy? Hey, Ronnie, this is Dakota to broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, man, you did a great job. You charged through the field on those new tires, but those guys kind of held you off up front. But you come home second. You charged through the field to gain 32 spots to get your second place finish. So how did it look out there?
It was a long race, and it sucked that I had computer problems that cost me getting the ability to qualify. So had to deal with fighting through the pack, and that was a lot of fun, even though with all the cautions. But it was still fun because it's always fun to pass people. And by the time I got to the front, I knew I could just hang with them. And those two guys, Bill and Blake, when they were on older tires, I felt like I might have worn mine and stuff out a little bit too quickly, and the tires just evened out. And did the best I could, stay with the pass them, but just couldn't do it.
Yeah, we were watching you on your qualifying lap. You're one that's usually on the front row, a very fast qualifier, and we saw you couldn't quite get to the line as the time expired. But a lot of these guys had trouble trying to get through the field, but you just weaved your way right up through there and didn't have any issues. So great job, Ronnie.
Yeah, it was just all patience to get through the field. And I felt like everybody was trying to bully their way through the field that some people were doing. I was just picking the spot where nobody was, and I made it stick.
Well, great job. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank?
Thank my teammates on VSM. Shout out to PH Aware, and thanks to you guys for running the league and broadcasting.
All right, we appreciate it, Ronnie. You did a great job, and we'll be seeing you again soon, I'm sure. All right, that was second place finisher Ronnie Osmer. Let's get a word from our winner, Blake Giglio. He's still sitting out there with the car smoking. Hey, Blake, this is Dakota in a broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, man, you stayed out on those old tires. You got it done. You got behind Bill at one point, and we kind of thought that maybe he was going to be able to hold you off, but he gets loose, and you get back around him and hold off Osmer with the newer tires. So great job, Blake, coming home with a win.
Yeah, I really didn't think it was going to be the right move to stay out, but I knew I wasn't going to beat him any other way. But I guess the tires didn't fall off as much as I thought they did. So we got pretty lucky there, and the race started getting by Bill. But then I knew if them two would race behind me, I could probably pull away, which I did. So overall, we had a great night in this one race.
Yeah, Blake, you did a great job. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank?
Low Drag Esports, EXE Racing, teammates, yeah, that's about it.
Well, good job, Blake. I'm sure we'll be seeing you again soon. And thanks to our sponsor, Darren's Nail Gun Repair, you're going to have a little bit of a payout for the win. So congratulations, Blake.
There you guys sit.
All right, Kyle. What a race that was as we close out this one. Several cautions, but Blake Giglio comes home with the winner, holding off on old tires. What was your impression first time watching it with us?
Oh, you definitely got a lot of guys that can run up front, and probably about 12 or 13 different guys that could have won that race if they had strategy go the right way or stayed out of damage. So it seems like a good competitive league, and a lot of hard racing, and turned out to be a good race.
Yeah, absolutely. That was interesting to see the different pit strategies at the end. Osmer on the newer tires, Himmelman on a little bit newer tires than him, and Humphrey drives all the way back up to 10th. Just didn't have quite enough time after pitting from 6th position. So not a big loss for him there as he ends up still in the top 10. But great job to Giglio, and you did a great job tonight, Kyle. Appreciate you for hanging out with us tonight.
Yep, thank you for inviting me, and I had a blast, and look forward to doing more.
Absolutely. Next week we'll be at Atlanta. Let me check the schedule here. And next week we'll be at Atlanta for 150 laps, and then we'll be headed to Bristol. So good job to everybody, and we will catch you all next week.